Hello everyone, this is Tanmay, member of MANCITY Mumbai Supporters Club, and I welcome you to this episode where we are going to preview the ultimate game, the game we are waiting for. Is MANCITY versus Real Madrid, and I have two special guests on my show. But before I introduce them, I will request you all the viewers please subscribe the channel, press the bell icon for the notifications because we have lots of amazing content lined up for you guys. So make sure you like, share, and subscribe the video, and you can get a chance to feature on the upcoming episodes. So just stay tuned, guys. So moving on to this episode about the preview for the game, I would like to introduce two passionate Man City fans from Man City Mumbai Supporters Club, Aadesh Dhote and Niketshyam Agrawal. Hi guys, how are you?
Hi.
How are you guys?
We are pretty good and we are pumped for the game. Absolutely
Yeah,
pumped. We can't.
we've been waiting for it for so long now.
Yeah. So now that is the energy I think our team needs in this game. So let's talk. Before moving on to the second leg, let's talk about the first leg. In the first leg, of course everyone knows what happened in that game. So we won 2-1 at the Bernabeu. We had two away goal advantage. Real Madrid scored with Isco and City scored with Jesus and Kevin De Bruyne. But now the situation is different. That time, if we had played in March, so we had played against the Real Madrid team who were chasing the title. Now they have won the title. Both of the team are in good form right now. So now their scenario is very different. Now we have five substitutions. They don't have Ramos. We don't have Mendy. Now the game is completely different. So what are your thoughts on this game? What do you think that this game will plan out for us? Starting with you, Niketshyam. What do you think?
Um. Yeah, we are. I'm nervous. This is kind of a deja vu from the last time we were in knockouts against Real Madrid in the situation we could have really profited
Yeah,
from.
yeah,
And with and then I remember. Then we remember what happened. There was a bad referee decision. Everything happened. So there's kind of a nervousness going into the game. But I hope the boys turn up this time. And like I really think this is a much better place we have. Although Aguero is a major one that I would say would have probably factored in better. Last time also we had to play KDB as a striker. So I
Right.
hope this time Jesus sorts this here and we have a proper lineup going in and we do well this time.
Great. What about you, Adesh?
this game has actually been quite a reminiscent thing, because I think the last time when we met it in the semifinals, it was the first ever time we went to the semifinals. That too was thanks to a KDB strike back then, who scored
Right.
against PSG, right?
Right.
I feel like Man City have come a long way since then because if you remember the time at Bernabeu, we were barely capable of coming back from that 1-0 deficit for the whole game. Even that was probably, I think, an own goal from Fernandinho, if I'm not
Yeah. Yeah.
mistaken.
Fernando. Fernando.
Yeah, Fernando. Yeah, I'm so
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
Ando,
So
yes.
yeah, so I think just looking at how well we performed at the Bernabeu after all these years really goes on to show how far we've come as a team. And that's not to say that we weren't a good team back then, but I think the experience has really paid off because being at the top level for this long really makes something. You see how Madrid play in and out every Champions League, regardless of how their La Liga campaign goes.
Right.
So I think this time out we are way better poised to face them,
Right.
and we know what we are taking in. Even the last time, if you look at it, all said and done, we did not let them win at our home.
Right.
So I think they're in a really good position here.
Right. Now, Real Madrid, they won the two title, so they had their best player, Cristiano Ronaldo. Now they don't have that goal scoring, but they have their best player, Karim Benzema. But they will miss their the best player after Ronaldo. It was Sergio Ramos. So how much that will impact to this game? What about you, Niketshyam?
Of course, the leadership matters, and Ronaldo and Ramos are such key leader figures, and them being absent would be a big blow.
Right.
That said, we also do not have our main leader, which was Vincent Company last season. So I guess that sort of evens out. And if we just look at the lineup, apart from that, Varane is dangerous, man.
Right.
Like as a
Right.
City fan, I am expecting Varane to somehow end up having his best game. Like, not expect. I'm fearful that he might end up having his best game of his career against us because that's something that usually happens whenever we play against some team. So I hope the other centre back screws up, probably Eden Militao. So I hope
Yeah.
he screws up and we get at least a couple goals or at least a draw, if nothing
Right.
else.
Right.
I'm satisfied with a draw.
Okay, so I give you a scenario like if in first leg if City had won 3-1, but Ramos had got a red card, and if City has been winning 2-1 and Ramos getting the red card, which one you'll pick? Starting with you, Adesh. What do you think?
No, I definitely go for Ramos being off. That guy is crazy. We can do anything.
What about you, Niketshyam? You go with the same?
Yeah, like Ramos is a very like a joker card in a card game.
Exactly.
I
Right.
just remember how he got Cuadrado sent off. So I don't want to take any risks with Ramos on the field. If
Right, right.
that man is off, I'm happy even with a draw game. Even
Right.
in the if we also in the last game, but Ramos was off, I'm happy.
Great. So, what do you think? Like, who will be the key players for this game? For Man City now we have very good squad, we have good players. So, who do you think should perform at their best to get the result in this important game? Starting with you, Adesh.
Um, as for key players, I feel like there has to be a collective effort as far as defense goes. For far too long, when it comes to centre backs, for a while we used to rely on Vincent Company, and we've kind of offloaded that role to IMA right now. But all said and done, there is a partnership between the two centre backs, right? I mean, this is exactly why we even looking at Madrid on weak legs, because Ramos not being there is not normal for them. Varane always performs with Ramos, so a new pairing
Right.
can be really, it can be quite fragile for them as well, because this is not something they've worked with a long time. And starting and going into the Champions League game, a second leg, it's not the best of the outputs for them. So I think, as for I'm sorry, I diverted a bit from your question. I think a collective effort is more important, but as far as our tactic goes and as far as our playing style goes, I think our attackers can lead the front here, because we cannot play the game as if we want to defend a 2-1 lead, right? This was the same mentality that we had going into the second leg of the PSG game in the quarterfinals in
Right.
the last year of Pellegrini.
Right.
So I think the midfielders could really I'm sorry. I think the midfielders could really influence the game here, because they could really control the dynamic. Even if Real are having a good pressing opportunity, they're having a good attacking prowess. The midfielders could really play, especially Fernandinho. We've not seen him play well at the DMF for a long time now, for
Right.
various reasons. He had to
Right.
switch to centre back. A lot of things happen. But I think if, along with our two centre backs, Fernandinho could give us that extra defensive resilience in the MF role, I think we could have a really strong backline. And then from there onwards, our attack always does wonders. That's what they'll do.
Right. What are your thoughts on it, Disham? What would you like to say? Who are the key players for us?
For me, I want to say KDB, I want to say Jesus, I want to say Mahrez, but today I want to go with Ederson the most because more than anything, I'm a scared person when it comes to us being a City fan in a UCL tie, that too not a group stage.
Right.
So we have seen like very good positions go away from attacking teams like Monaco. We've seen that happen in the past, right? We were very close to going out a couple more times just because the others were attacking well. So I want to say that Ederson should have a standout game. He should prove every like we all know as City fans that he is probably one of the better shot stoppers as well, not just a distributor. And he has shown that in the past games. But tomorrow everyone will be watching, so I hope he turns up then, and everybody will be like, yeah, this man actually can also stop shots very well, more than we believe. So this time for him not to prove it only to us but also to the neutrals and to the haters
Right.
that we have a solid goalkeeper who's probably the best in the world.
Right. Right. So, guys, now you are Pep Guardiola, and you have to pick the 11. Which one you'll pick for this particular game? Now we have a scoreline 2-1, two away goals. So, like, you will keep the lead, you will defend the lead, or you think you'll attack the lead? If personally, I'll tell my opinion that if we have 2-1 lead and the defense we've got, the way we get caught on counter, I won't be confident even if we're facing Bournemouth in the second leg. So I will definitely go attack the team. So which lineup would you go with? Starting with you, Adesh.
I don't know if you remember the press conference that Pellegrini had before the PSG game back in the quarterfinal second leg, right? He'd emphasized that no matter how big an advantage you have going into the second leg, you can never play a game as if you're defending for the whole 90 minutes.
Right.
It just doesn't
Exactly.
work that way. You
Exactly.
cannot
Yeah.
pull out a draw. You cannot pull out a win. You have to play like you want to win the game.
Right.
Otherwise, it's just not going to work for you. You're going with the mentality of losing. You're going to lose.
Right.
So I think am I selecting the lineup, or am I just answering this question? Sorry.
Yeah. So what will be the predicted lineup? Which lineup will
So
you
I
go with?
think obviously I'd start Ederson between the six. That's
Right.
not a question at all.
Right.
Um, I I would like to say that I want to start Aime and Otamendi, but given the recent prowess that Eric Garcia has shown, especially his calmness on the ball, I think Laporte and Garcia could really work together at the centre back role. Plus, we need a little safekeeping there, especially looking at the fact that yellow cards are not being carried on now.
Right,
So I
right.
think Laporte and Garcia could do well at the centre back positions. Right back, definitely Kyle Walker has to be. Um, Despite what Cancelo has been in recent few games, I think that Benjamin Mendy could have the better game here at the left
No,
back
but
position.
I have to correct you that Mendy is suspended for this game. He has yellow card.
Mendy suspended.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, then it's Cancelo. Then it's
Right.
Cancelo. Because I really don't think Zinchenko has been performing quite well this season. He has shown glimpses of being a good left back, but all said and done, he is a primary attacking midfielder, and you don't want to take that kind of a risk with your defensive line, especially in the second leg.
Right.
DMF, I definitely say Fernandinho. Up front, Kevin De Bruyne and is David Silva still with us for the
Yeah,
UCL?
yeah, 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 yeah. He is there.
So yeah, so up front, I would pick Kevin De Bruyne and David Silva. If we have Aguero, definitely Aguero. I mean, no hard feelings towards Jesus, but Aguero needs to be there.
Right.
So Aguero up front. On the right wing, I would keep Mahrez
Okay.
simply for how good he's been in the dribbling. I think it's a really difficult call between Bernardo and Mahrez, but he takes a slight edge at least for this season. And left wing definitely is Starling.
Right. What about you, Nitisha? What will be your lineup for this game?
I think most of the lineup picks itself up. Or Ederson is a sure start. Laporte is a sure start. Cancelo is a most probable start. You never know with the Pep roulette, but let's hope Cancelo there. Kyle at the right back position, and another centre back. I think there's a chance Pep could start with three centre backs, but I hope he doesn't. Let's have another centre back in. I think we should start Otamendi here. I really am not okay with him playing there, but I think with the of a new centre back, there might be a chance that he wants to justify his wage. So let's give him a chance then. I could be wrong, obviously. And in DM, I would like to play Rodri itself because he has been sensational for us. He has been solid. He needs to, gel a little better. But I hope like big games would only teach him for his future, which is what I would also want for him. In midfield, Kevin is a sure starter,
Right.
and between Bernardo and David, I would go with David here because experience is something we would really need against such a lineup. And on the right wing, I would obviously have a tough call to make with both Raheem and Bernardo and equally challenging Mahrez. But I have absolutely loved Mahrez this season, and we don't want to, spike up a bunch of Algerian fans later if we lose. So let's go with Mahrez. And center forward, I think Aguero is just not 100% fit yet, so we'll have to go for Jesus, or we could also start Sterling there if we want. And on the left wing, I would probably want some youngster to start for a change because people, when you're young, you want to prove yourself at the biggest stage.
Right.
So if Foden plays, I would be very happy if Foden plays in the left wing for us. And I feel like right now Sterling is a better option than Jesus, although he has performed in the last three games for sure. I think Jesus would be better on as a sub later words. If either of the three don't perform, I would prefer that.
Right. So, do you guys think that this game is right for the youngster like Garcia and Foden? Do you think if Pep puts them in this 11, if you check the lineup before the kickoff and you see them, you'll feel confident or you'll be a little bit scared if you see them? Starting with you, Aadesh.
Um, I I think given the history we've seen how reluctant Pep has been towards youngsters. That's nothing personal. I mean, but you see Frank Lampard or Arteta taking more chances with youngsters. So, despite what the mentality is here, I really don't see Pep going with a youngster, especially at this stage, just because of how cautious he's been throughout. Although I would say that if I were to choose between Foden and Garcia to pick a youngster in the squad, I would definitely say Garcia. No hard feelings towards Foden. Foden is a great player. It's just that there are better players in his place right now in the team, and Garcia can probably have more of an impact if he were to be there.
Right.
So that's my thought on it.
Right. What about you, Niketshyam?
Not both, definitely. One of them is and at either position. I trust Pep a lot with what he does, and even though he gets into some experimentation mode during big games at times, many of them pay off. Like we were not expecting us to do this well against Arsenal last year when there was an experimentation in the lineup and all those things. So if you see over the year, I think Pep's experiments have become more calculated. I would definitely be a little scared if I see both of them starting. But if I see one of them starting, I think I'll be happy because they don't have Ramos playing, they don't have Ronaldo. Maybe they are playing Vinicius or someone, I guess, somebody of that age, Vinicius or what was his name? Ah,
Rodrigo.
there was one
Rodrigo.
Rodrigo.
Brazil, Mariano,
Rod,
Rodrigo, yeah,
yeah.
Rodrigo, Rodrigo or Vinicius playing from them as well. And youngsters would want to prove themselves at such a big stage. Garcia is seeing that Ake is arriving, and we might go for Koulibaly. Looking at all that, Garcia might also look to perform and not go away to Barca. He would want
Right.
to stay with us. So I
Right.
hope that happens. If not that, I hope Foden performs because Foden has performed in games where nobody else has performed at times. Like that FA Cup game we had, nobody in the team turned up apart from Foden in that game. So
Right.
I think both of them have proven that they deserve a chance. So if one of them starts, I'm happy. I'm very happy if one of them starts.
So for Real Madrid, Ramos is missing. Ramos is suspended, and there is a slight, confusion about the fitness of Eden Hazard. So we don't know if he's going to be fit to play the game. So who, according to you, you think that he will be the dangerous man for Real Madrid, and we should be, wary of that guy? Starting with you, Aadesh.
I think Real Madrid have been really doing well this season, especially given their squad. Because if you look at the stats, no one other than Benzema has scored more than four, and Benzema has scored a
Yeah,
lot of goals.
right,
So going into the game, I think Madrid have a really good upper hand, given the history as well. But I think that's where we kind of have the advantage because we know that we just have to make sure of that one man to kind of pin down the whole team.
right,
Because without him, the team does not really operate that well. And
right,
as Niketshyam mentioned, the lack of leadership also affects the team a lot.
right,
Without Ramos and with Benzema being stifled, I think the team mentality could really break down for them. And given a high pressure style, we could really take advantages. But obviously, we have to convert our chances. We take a lot of chances.
right,
We know
right,
that by now. But
right,
converting those chances is a really big question mark. But I think Benzema is regardless a really big player. We can try to stifle him, but he has found those gaps even when we haven't wanted him. In earlier matches against him, we've seen how dangerous he can be. So he's definitely um, player to watch out for. I don't know why Zinedine Zidane has been a bit conservative with Asensio because I think he's the third highest assist provider in
yeah,
the team right now, if I'm not
yeah,
mistaken. So if he starts, we have a few problems there because their midfield can really unlock the defense with their passes, and that is something to watch out for, especially with the pace that Vinicius or Rodrigo have running down
right,
the flank.
right. What about you, Niketshyam? What do you think?
I think lineups sometimes don't define what ends up happening in UCL. There's
Right,
referee mistakes.
right,
There's sudden new heroes turning up like anything. I remember Origi against Barcelona, and players have decided that you do not know who's gonna turn up in a UCL game. So I think like lack of leadership definitely is a big factor in terms of Ramos and other injuries, but in terms of an absolute key player being missing, I am not very sure that could completely affect the game. And I'm still sort of scared that players that have not gotten a chance this season may also turn up, from Real Madrid's side, and they have this upper hand. You go in like, ये मेरे घर की trophy है sort of.
right,
So that's a factor always there.
right,
So you have to be very, very cautious and not get happy that certain players are missing apart from Ramos. Ramos is a definite one that I'm happy about. That is, he's not there because the leader, he's the trickster, not in terms of his skill moves, but his other finesse moves. So I'm really happy from that part, but I do not think the other players being missing or playing could really affect the game as much. rather than their morale. And I'm waiting for what the players say in the press conference, what the managers say. I really want to understand what attitude they are going in with. That I think could play a bigger factor this time.
Right. So now, guys, let's move on to the last part, and it's a tough part. It is the predictions. What are your predictions for this game? What do you think? Do you look for prediction? Starting with you, Aadesh.
The prediction is really tough. I mean, it entirely depends on who scores the first goal.
Exactly. Right.
Um, but I think I definitely see Madrid scoring a goal here. I wouldn't see it any other way. But I also know that given the attacking prowess we have and given the way we can respond to that, I think we could see a 3-1 City.
Wow. That's a
Yeah,
very
no.
that's a very good score, and it will boost many fans. What about you, Niketshyam?
I really don't want to jinx it by saying out what's going on my head. Once you say it, it's all I do not suggest a score line. I do not want to say whatever I say next is the thing I do not want to say. So I think Madrid might, edge it a little bit, but I think they will be going through. I mean, Madrid will be
Yeah,
going through.
we get your point.
Uh, either saying that there could be a very strong chance that we have a very tight game in terms of 1-0 or 2-1 kind of, or Pep might surprise us entirely by losing 4-0.
Okay, so
You
we
never
get
know,
you.
his intentions sometimes scare me, but sometimes they work.
So
I do not want to say and I believe it right now.
hopefully your reverse jinxing works and we get a good result. I think this is going to be a very close game. I hope they don't score first. If they score first, it's going to be a very nervy game. I'm going with a 2-2 prediction. I hope we go through. Everyone hope to go through. Let's see what happens. So guys, thank you for joining me. It was really fun talking to you. You gave very good insights. So guys, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you, Adesh.
Great
Thank
talking
you.
to you.
Thank
Cheers.
you, Nikesham. Thank you,
Yes,
guys.
thank you.
So I would like to request all the viewers, please make sure to subscribe the channel, press the bell icon, like, share, and comment, and you can get a chance to feature on this episode for upcoming episodes. So thank you, guys. Thank you for joining me. Bye. Take care, and come on, City.
Come on,
Come
City.
on, say.